Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shall we start our session with prayer? A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islami dina wa bi Muhammadin nabiyya wa rasula. Rabbi zidni ilma wa razaqni fahma waj'alni min ibadika shalihin. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Good morning everyone. It's nice to see you again in our class medium of language teaching. Today actually we should have discussion with our latest to previous articles, but we have some technical problem in to conduct this session of discussions. That's why I need to make up this material in the form of video podcast containing PPT presentations in the form of video. In these discussions, we will have two topics. The first one is offline meeting versus synchronous meeting, and then two, the explanation of field observation assignment. In the first topic, we raise these questions, and we also discuss this issue with previous classes, with some of other classes about this option and this preference. The question is, if you have to choose which one do you prefer, the offline meeting or synchronous meeting. Offline meeting, it means that the student and the teacher conduct the teaching and learning offline in the class. We as a lecturer presenting the matter in front of you, and the student attending and listening to the presentations directly. Meanwhile, the synchronous meeting is it's also face-to-face meeting, but using the media of internet. It's like using the video conference of Google Meeting, Zoom, and then other application of video conference. So actually, offline meeting, face-to-face offline meeting with face-to-face synchronous meeting has a typical characteristic, but it's something interchangeable, but based on the context of these conditions, in my opinion, and based on the observation of some student of medium as the participant of medium of language teaching, they prefer the offline meeting. In my opinion, we choose the offline meeting in this context based on these four reasons. The first one is internet connections. Based of my knowledge, I'm not really sure with the internet connections I may have in this moment, or even your internet connections. If you lose your internet connections, then the class will be more or less the class will be fine. But on the contrary, if I lost my internet connections, then I have to miss the class. There's something it will ruin the class. Why? Because I cannot present the materials, you cannot have the discussions, you have to learn by yourself all the time, and that's due to the unreliable internet connections. That's the first reason why I prefer offline meeting versus synchronous meeting in this context. And then number two is visual. We can have more visual when we have our offline meeting. Of course, we have the visual in synchronous meeting, but we can feel the touch, we can feel the contact directly when we have the direct class in campus. That's why we have more visual in offline meeting. And then number 3 is transferring knowledge and motivations. We can transfer knowledge using offline meeting or synchronous meeting, but in terms of motivations and then posture and then inspirations, well, I will say that offline meeting is a better options. And then number 4, when we have online meeting, we can also develop social skills. During your 4 years learning in campus, you will learn about the pedagogical skills, and then you will develop also the professional skills, and then personal skills, and also social skills. In developing the last skills, you need to meet lots of people, you need to interact, cooperate and collaborate with people, and it will be maximal if we can have offline meeting. Then in conclusions, those are the reason why I prefer offline meeting in today's context. But again, offline meeting versus synchronous meeting is something interchangeable. If I have to choose, I will choose offline meeting, but we can replace the offline meeting with synchronous meeting in some critical conditions. Right? You may have different opinion about these options, but based on my observation, I confirm my opinion is confirmed with a little observation with some student and the other class of medium of language teaching. And then the second topic is your field observation assignment. In the next 2 weeks, you will have this observation. This assignment is about field observations, and the principle that you should consider. We have 8 principles. The first one is that you have to work and collaborate with your group. It's like what we have mentioned before in our first meeting, that you need to make a group of 4. If you don't have a group, then you can make up the group at this moment, or if you don't have the group but there's an existing group, you can join. The group should contain 4 or 5 people, not more than 5 people. That's the rule of thumb that you should consider about the number of member of your group. And then number 2, each member of the group should work individually to interview to a teacher in your neighborhood. The teacher can be high school, secondary or elementary school practitioners. The teacher should not. The teacher can be any teacher, any subject teacher. So it should not be always an English teacher, because I believe it will be hard to find English teacher if we just focus to find English teacher in your neighborhood. So you can interview any teacher in your neighborhood as long as they teach in this level of high school, secondary and elementary school practitioners. And then number 3, in doing your interview, please raise these following questions. The first one is current condition of teaching and learning process, and then B, teaching challenges in current conditions, and then C, asking about teaching media in current conditions. And then number 4, for the schedule, you can communicate with and have a meeting with your group. when you have done with your interview and then you came up with the result, if your group consists of 4 members, then that will be 4 result of interview. Then after that, you have to collaborate all the result of the interview of each member into a paper. So it's like doing the interview in making the graduating paper. So all the result of interview process and evaluate it has to be processed and evaluate to get the general phenomena of the result. So that's why you need to collaborate all the result of the interview of each member into a paper. And then number 5, the paper should be more than 600 words. And then number 6, upload the paper in a folder of your Google Drive. Mention the name of all members. Number 7, the deadline is 5th November 2021. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout in WhatsApp group. That's the descriptions of your assignment. The most important thing is that you just need to get down into your neighborhood and then request the time of a teacher in your neighborhood and then raise the questions. And then after that, came up with the result, join with compose the result with other members of your group, and then came up with conclusion at the end. Alright, I think that's all for this afternoon presentation and discussion. Thank you for your attention, and we close with prayer. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaika. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.